Okay. Let's see.
Hey, Denise.
Hey, Jennifer, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome. I figured it out.
The light
Yeah,
coming in from your back window is kind of
yeah. I'm going to put the
a
shade
little
down for
weird.
you.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Is that better? A little?
Yeah. That's really good with the light on.
Yeah.
Cool.
There we go.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Getting through the week, and yeah, no complaints so far, I guess. I mean, besides the obvious, but.
Yeah, I know. Just working and trying to deal with all the smoke around here and fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not so bad in Summit?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's just as bad. Today on the news, they were trying to, they have some type of equation they came up with probably. And they said that the smoke that we're breathing in is like 2 cigarettes, basically. So,
a day
and
or something?
I know, and in Portland, Oregon, they said it's 15 cigarettes. I could just imagine.
Per day?
Yeah.
Like per day? Oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It is what it is. Right now.
I hope it gets. I hope we get some rain or some snow, I guess.
Well, we're supposed to have rain on Tuesday if it actually happens. So we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain and it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The leaves are already changing and fall's here.
Are they?
Yeah, over here near the house. I mean, the tree that used to be right in front of the house used to be green. Now it's yellow.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm looking all around.
What end of town do you live on?
I live on where Millsite is at 15th Street, right around the circle there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
That's where I am. And our trees are starting to turn, so, and leaves are going to fall soon.
Yeah, I love this. This time of year is so nice. It's still warm out, yet kind of cooling down, but not too bad.
No, it's beautiful. Actually,
Beautiful.
I love the fall. I know it's my favorite time of the year. But I'm leaving next week to go see my grandbaby. She turns a year old. So, yeah, I'm going to drive down to see her. We can't have a party, but they're in Texas. And yeah, because the 2 girls are in Texas. My son, he moved up here when we moved here, but the girls, they'll just visit right now because they like the warm weather. They don't like the cold weather. So they rather play in it and then leave.
Yeah. I get that.
I understand. So I'll be gone for about 11 days. So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the grandbabies and play with them. So, and friends.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so it'll be fun to see family and friends. And I'm going to drive, so that's going to be fun. It's a long drive.
How long does it take? Yeah.
About 12 to 13 hours, depending on how fast you go.
Okay.
So if Jason
like
was
2
driving,
days.
yeah, if Jason was driving, we'd be there in 10 hours. But I don't do 80 or 90, So
yeah.
It's going to take me a while, but it's okay. As long as I get there safely.
Jason? Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Is Jason with you tonight, or is he going to be at the meeting here?
He's on his way back.
Okay.
He ran to the store, and he's coming in, so he might be about 5 minutes late. So he'll be here because he called me and said I'm on my way, and I said okay. So
nice.
It usually takes us a little bit of time to get started. So
yeah, for sure.
Plus, I'm a little early anyway.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you see me?
Oh, of course I can hear you. I can see you too.
Awesome. You guys are chatting away. I wonder if I'm there or
no,
here.
You're here. Now we see you.
Yes, awesome.
It says we have 6, but I only see me and you, and I hear Jen. That's it. There's Ed.
Ann.
Hey, Ed.
I see Ed poking his head up there.
Me here, cheers.
All right.
Ann's here. I think she just stepped away.
Oh, okay. Cool. So how are you, Dwayne?
I am awesome.
Awesome.
Working hard.
Okay, that's a good thing.
I was last meeting I was in the hospital and I couldn't get my I just couldn't get enough service to make it work, and this time it was close. I just made it home. No time to come and get it hooked up.
So you had the accident on the bike? Is that what it was?
I was out running and I just
running. Okay.
I hit my knee, but 4 days later it had gotten infected, and I'm stubborn. And eventually my wife dragged me to the hospital, and I spent a night in the ICU and 3 more nights in the hospital.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah, and then a nice 25 stitches, and I can finally almost bend my knee back to normal.
That's good.
Yeah. They didn't have to amputate, so that was awesome.
Yes, that is good. It's always a good thing.
It made it scary for us a little bit. They're like, if you'd waited another day to come in, you probably would have lost your leg.
Oh my gosh.
So, really? I went septis. It was running. Yeah, the infection, my leg was 5 times the size it normally is my knee.
Wow.
And then it was running. It ran halfway down my leg and halfway up my leg.
Oh.
And so they cut it open and washed all the infection out. And
well, good for you.
You did that?
Yeah.
You did that with a fall?
Well, so like they said, I hit it right on the kneecap, and it was just deep enough. I mean, I'm crazy with rubbing alcohol and cleaning and everything, but it was just deep enough that it let the infection take hold. And like they said, it's just bad luck. If it's on your kneecap, your body can't get to it because there's no blood flow on your kneecap or your elbows.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those bad luck things that once it took hold, and I had chills, was not real nauseous, and I had that first night in the ICU, I had 104 fever. It'd go down, it'd go back up and go down, and it was a mess for a few days.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Well, you're lucky.
Oh yeah, very, like they said, very lucky. Except I wasn't as healthy as I was. They were on Wednesday morning. They were planning on me staying in the hospital through Sunday, but I got out Thursday evening. So, yeah, one of those lucky things that I guess it helps to be healthy. I don't eat the best, but.
Is that Ann Wilkins here? I can't hear you.
There we are. I've lost everything. There we go. Yeah, it's me.
Good.
We've watched you sitting out on the balcony listening to music at Cabin Creek.
Well, I was wondering if your husband was still alive.
Yep. Have you ever talked to my neighbor about his MG?
I couldn't get it on the phone.
He's out on the porch right now. I'll have to ask him.
Tell him get a normal phone number.
Yeah.
You want to talk to him? He's on Zoom.
The meeting hadn't started yet.
Oh.
Just say hi to Ed.
Hi, Ed. Come over anytime.
Okay.
The MG's waiting for you.
Oh, you're the guy?
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Your phone number, twice I couldn't get in.
You can't get in on your phone number.
Oh, you don't have my phone number?
No, I had it. The Wilkins gave me the phone number, but it could not go through.
Oh, it wouldn't go through.
No.
Oh.
You gotta get a American telephone number.
What is it?
You need to get an American phone.
Oh, yeah, I'll work on that. Canadian ones are cheaper. All right, well, I'll catch up with you. If you want to come over, I'd love to have you take a look at it.
Okay, I'll be getting my Triumph back probably sometime soon. It's in
Okay.
the garage.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
better get back to
All
work.
right, well, I'll let you go. I'll be in touch.
Good
Thank
enough.
you. Thanks, guys.
I'm trying, Ed.
Well, you are a I can't say it. Who are you waiting for?
I don't know. Are we waiting for anybody?
We're good to go.
Okay.
All right, let's call this meeting in order.
Do we have
Dick,
quorum?
we do the roll call.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So Dwayne Gazinski,
Here.
Ann Wilkins,
Here.
Ed Hoover,
Here?
Denise Newton.
Here.
And Denise said Jason will be here in a couple minutes. And I guess we just have Kathleen is absent.
Gotcha. I guess we do a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to approve it?
I motion to approve the agenda from July 15th. Oh, no, I mean the agenda for September 17th. I was talking about the minutes. Sorry,
I'll
guys.
second that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that. Ed made the second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I guess we're just reviewing the 2016 comprehensive plan. Plan theme, a system of quality public.
Yeah, no, one thing that we had thought we might have for tonight was a subdivision, a conceptual subdivision application. And he didn't have all the materials for the application completed. We went ahead and did a preliminary review at the DRC last week of that, but he's going to complete the materials for the subdivision application. And then that will be at a future meeting. That was the reason why we changed you from Wednesday to Thursday. We thought that was going to be available, and then through all the rigmarole, he didn't have all the materials. So that's why we kept the meeting on Thursday rather than confusing you guys. Kept trying to move the meeting on you, but left it on Thursday evening and just go ahead with the regular stuff. And then very shortly, we will set up that. He will have his application materials together and it will be forthcoming.
So who is this?
Marv Geisness with the property over on between Main and Biddle and 9th and 10th Street.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's some open ground. It'd be subdivided into 6 or 7 lots.
Really? Okay.
And some ground along there. So it basically covers the entire block. There's 3 houses built close to 9th Street. And then it's open. And then there's 2 other lots that are not included in the subdivision next to 10th. But everything in between Main and Biddle would be included in the subdivision. But not all the materials were together, even for the conceptual. And just like last year, and Denise, and you weren't on the committee at the time, but there's a subdivision goes through a conceptual, and then it goes through a preliminary plat, and then it goes through a final plat.
Okay.
And the planning commission is involved in the conceptual. There's a recommendation by the DRC, and then the planning commission approves.
Okay.
And then the preliminary plat, the planning commission recommends or doesn't basically an approval, and then it goes to the Board of Selectmen for their approval. And then the final plat is just the drawing the lines on the map and to record them with the Register of Deeds, and that's approved by the Board of Selectmen. It really doesn't come to the Planning Commission again at that point.
So when are we going to have the look at?
I don't know. I haven't received all the materials as yet.
Okay.
So when I get them, then we'll schedule it. And there's a timeline that's required by the code.
Yeah.
So, and the property has to be posted and all that jazz. So
Good.
Okay.
that's with that.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? And you guys never have a complaint, so I'll just won't say that either. But the next portion of the comprehensive plan update that we're going to be looking at, if you have your comprehensive plan or with your packet, is the plan theme as a system of quality public purposes. And basically talks about the public services, including water and wastewater, law enforcement, the public works maintained in the streets and drainage, and the solid waste. It goes over that in that background of it. In 2016, most of the streets in Georgetown are unpaved and do not contain curb and gutter. And there's generally in poor condition for the roads, although there's some things that we've improved in the last few years. The storm drainage system is very limited, which can be a problem. And Georgetown, and then it goes on into the water and wastewater system. The water is supplied by South Clear Creek. The water flows into a treatment plant located up the hill, quarter mile south of town. That has a total capacity of 800,000 gallons per day. But the daily demand for Georgetown is between 100,000 and 300,000 gallons a day. So, which is still quite a bit for 1,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to have 100 gallons per day per person, that's not out of the realm of possibility, but to have 300 gallons per day per person. But that's during our tourist season, you know, when the tourists are in full flight coming to town. But that's quite a bit per day for the size of town that we have. The water treatment plant was expanded and improved, followed by the construction of a new $400,000 or 400,000 gallon, not dollar, it was more than that. 400,000 gallon water tank. And then there's reconstruction of a 650,000 gallon water tank, which is the one on the other side of the road, and a new booster pump station in 2010. And we've actually, well, I'll go through what they had in 2016 first. The distribution system is in fair condition with some water line looping, replacement, and ongoing maintenance needs. And then Georgetown also constructed a new wastewater treatment plant in 2011. It treats or serves the water from Georgetown and Silver Plume, and has a daily flow between 200,000 and 900,000 gallons. And that's a lot of infiltration. That's been reduced somewhat, but when you only have 300,000 gallons at most going out, or being produced, water produced, and then you have 900,000 coming into your wastewater plant, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Part of that is Silver Plume. And then also some other inflow and infiltration that goes in. So, and we've done various things with that. So that was the background in 2016. Ed, you were here at that time, and Ann, you were here. Do you remember any specific discussions at the time in 2016 about this category?
Well, a lot of the things were discussed, but and then we had the 2016 documents printed. Now I have got out of it somewhat. Now I guess I'm concerned as to what we can do. Are we technically up to date with all any changes made to these documents as to what we can then proceed on to what need to work on?
Well, that's part of the discussion tonight is as we go through and with every category, what things have been accomplished and what things are still left to go.
Or can we get a report?
Yeah, we'll have a full report at the end of that. You know, we provided that in progress thing last time.
Yeah.
And we got this one and one more category, and then we're done with the plan update. And we'll give you a spreadsheet of what's been done or what's in progress. You know, each time some of the categories has had quite a few things done and others hardly anything.
Well,
you know, it takes resources to do so, obviously. But,
yeah.
This one, I think there's quite a few things that have been done. So, if you look on your next page, which is the key strategies and priority actions.
What page is that?
Hey, Kathy.
Oh, there. What page?
My apologies, I lost track of time.
That's all right. And I'm sharing my screen now, so it's also up on the screen. But, you know, they talked about last time, although it's kind of hard with Georgetown, but they had the trend or issue, a lack of a capital improvements plan to prioritize town infrastructure maintenance and upgrades. And it had a key strategy, improve the streets, bridges, and other public facilities. And establish a 5-year CIP and integrate it into the annual town budgeting process. And then also design and construct a new town maintenance shop complex that consolidates town maintenance activities. That was a bigger idea in 2016, and we really haven't progressed other than we purchased a shed. We're going to be in the process of constructing it here for the road and bridge folks over the next few months. So, and the CIP, there's been a couple attempts at it, and there's been some things done with that. The next one is the need for water system improvements. And this is probably one of the things, quite a bit has been done. The key strategy was to use the CIP to target priorities for upgrading the town's water supply, treatment, and distribution systems. And then it has 6 different priority actions. And the ones that have been accomplished is replace the old water lines in Clear Creek Drive. That was done. And Brownell Street, part of Brownell Street was done. And in other streets as needed on an annual basis. So that's been accomplished over the last 2 years, 3 years. The other one is the 4th one, which is improve the water supply intake structure for the water treatment plant. That got accomplished last year as part of the water treatment plant upgrades. The 5th one was dredge the lagoon to recover water storage capacity. That's just for water that flows down the creek.
Mhm.
And what was that, Ed?
I know what that is.
Yeah, yeah. So 3 of the 6 actually got done over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So since 2016. The other three, I don't think the looping the water lines on Bluebird and Alliance and Flatiron and Muscovite, how much a priority that is. Or to annex the town's water treatment facilities. And then the one, I don't know if that will come up or not, connect the restrooms at the Bighorn Sheep viewing area to the town's water system. That might be a little bigger ticket.
What are they doing for now up there?
Which one?
The Bighorn.
At the Bighorn Sheep viewing?
Yeah, what is in there?
There's bathrooms at the warming hut, and this is talking about the pit toilets at the viewing station, which is the one in the middle of the lake.
Yeah.
And it's not connected to the water or sewer system.
Okay.
We have to pump it out
Okay.
once or twice a year.
Got it.
So.
But there's water going into the house, right?
Yeah, into the warming hut. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Into the Bighorn Sheep viewing area, there's not a water fountain or anything else there.
No water. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they do it out in the boonies.
Yeah.
You know, but it works.
Right. The wastewater system use the CIP to target priorities for upgrading the town's wastewater collection and treatment system. And it was line sanitary sewer mains as needed on an annual basis. We haven't done that as much. And identify and eliminate improper service line connections, which we have done. And we have reduced in a couple locations the inflow and infiltration. When I mentioned earlier the difference in how much water we produce and how much water actually ends up at the sewer plant, we have narrowed a little bit that gap through a couple specific things we've done at different manholes. So, but probably the biggest thing that's not mentioned in here is the wastewater treatment plant upgrades, which we did last year, which was quite a bit. So, and that was because of the developer fees we received from the Bighorn project. We were able to do those upgrades at both the sewer plant and the water plant. The water plant, we added a second or a duplicate treatment. Now I'm forgetting the word. Microfilter. So, you know, a certain part of it can be down while they or replace the tubes when they need to. So it adds a very necessary backup to the water treatment facilities. And then also for the wastewater treatment, there was several improvements done last year. So that made it a much better system, a much safer system for a couple of the activities that occur in there. So, but that's not mentioned in this comprehensive plan update. Yeah. The capital, it also states regarding drainage problems, use the CIP to target priorities for upgrading the town's drainage system. Fund and conduct a comprehensive drainage study, which I would be glad to have.
Are we planning on doing that?
I keep talking about it. It needs to happen. So
Badly.
yeah. And then design and instead of, and we do have a couple former studies that were done, but it wasn't for the entire town. It was just specific areas. But I really want to get on to the next little statement that said there, design and construct drainage improvements as determined by the study. That there's a couple critical areas in town that really need it. So, and one is where Denise and Jason live near, as far as Millsite, and
Yep.
And then we have a river that goes through. Well, it's not a river, but along Taos and 11th, but and then there's a couple other areas in town too that are, when it's rain or when as the snow melts, it causes a problem. And the hardest problem around here is you can't really have, it's almost counterproductive to have storm drainage underground.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's almost better to leave the drainage on the surface because of the temperatures and the snow and everything else. So it's pretty difficult to get it far enough, and we don't have enough fall in a lot of places. You think with the mountains that we would have enough fall. Problem is we don't have enough fall in the right places to put it underground. So, and then you'll have to lift it back up to get it into the creek. So, so amongst all those different priority actions, is any questions, concerns, comments?
I would kind of like to see this document upgraded as to what had been done, and have a secondary program of the key strategies that we continue to build on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're done, what we have to do, and then we can kind of zero in what our priorities are.
Accountability.
Yeah, because all the paperwork doesn't do me any good unless we get current requirements. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I can read all this. It doesn't tell me the nuts stuff where.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I like.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that motion? Motion?
No, no more.
Kent, I was just wondering what we need to do to get this drainage study going.
You know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head that it wouldn't be bad to have the planning commission give a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen that this needs to be a priority regarding the drainage system. I don't, you know, a drainage does not have a direct revenue source. It has to be coming out of the general fund. So then it's fights with other priorities, and it's hard to get it to be a high enough ranking priority to say this is really needed to be done. Go ahead, Ed.
I was going to ask a question, thinking about today. We've got all these projects, all the buildings, and the new one being built.
Yeah.
Where where do we stand in collecting the money that would be generated from these buildings? What do you have for the future for us?
Well, they paid their developer fees. That was part of the agreement with the town. And then once they are built, then they go obviously on the tax rolls and they start paying property taxes, and the people that live in them, obviously pay different things. And they'll start being part of the utility systems. They'll start, just like the 11 townhomes are currently on the town's water and sewer system, as well as the brew pub. The
Okay.
hotel's shortly going to go be online.
Yeah.
And the apartment buildings they're just finishing up their services now. So within a month or two, they'll have their water and sewer connected too.
Okay. So is there any not format, but is there any amount of money that is going to be realized when all of this is online? Do you have any idea the amount more that we're going to see in the town from these buildings? And are we gonna able to use a little bit more money than for a lot of these things that we want to get done for priorities?
I don't have a quantity of what that will be, but some of those things are starting to come online now.
Yeah.
And we will have additional resources. Once the apartments come online, that'll be a big jump. And when the hotel comes online, that'll be a big jump as well.
Okay.
I don't know what that amount will be, but we will know shortly.
Well, I hope so, because all these people building are going to be paying money into the town. We ought to be able to afford some of these fix to do things.
Right.
That'd be kind of nice. Yeah.
We did a pretty big project with the water treatment and wastewater treatment plant upgrades. That was $1.6 million worth of improvements.
Wow.
So that was from the developer fees that we were able to do that. So that was a pretty big chunk to be able to do things.
Would be.
Now those couldn't have been applied to a drainage situation because the connection's not there.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a priority. I mean, needs to be set aside.
Well, we're going to be getting money into the coffers from all these buildings pretty soon.
Yeah.
So would it be, can use that money that way to do for the drainage?
Not with the water and sewer bills, but with their property taxes, yes.
Okay.
The value of the buildings.
If
a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
We don't get a whole lot from property taxes, but because the whole town generates about $200,000 for property taxes for the town. And then so the increase of this, if it was 20, 30,000, maybe more, 40,000 per year.
Okay.
This study might be able to be accomplished with that. Yes.
Well, at least there's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. it will give us an idea as to whether or not we have any way of doing things for the town, you know?
Right.
So I'm assuming that we're gonna be extra money, period. I don't know how much, but anything it can go into working that work on drainage as a problem, then maybe we can do it. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ann, did you have any further comments?
No, I'm very concerned about what's happening with the drainage, and I just really like to see the study done at least.
Yeah, I'd like to. There's two main areas that are really important to get something done, and not just study it, but be able to have those improvements in place. So,
And where the water flows down the middle of the street in Oliver Town, you know, that's tearing the streets up, and there's a lot to be concerned about with it.
right, right.
Do we have a consultant that we can automatically go to? Or do we have to bid it out?
We have someone that could, although I don't know what the trust level for an overall project is regarding it. And that's the balance as far as we've used one consultant for a couple different things, but we can certainly move ahead. I don't think it would have to be a complete RFP, or basically targeting different firms that we could work with and that would have some knowledge of the Georgetown system. So,
well, you're thinking that it's going to have to be covered on the ground, not underneath.
most of the time, there's some places where it can work. Like we do have a French drain, and that's where it's blocked right now next to Worland Park, but it goes back up. It starts back up south of 9th and Griffith. And then it reaches Worland Park, goes across Worland Park, and then comes to the surface on Taos, and then flows into a drain at 11th and Rose. And then there's a drain that continues all the way down Rose, almost to where your new house is at, Dwayne. Between the 12 and 1300 blocks of Rose. And that's where it goes in the creek. There's a little exit of the French drain into the creek at that location. But that's how far north they had to go in order to have enough fall to keep it, to be able to get into the creek. And then when the water is high, sometimes it gets above, and especially gets above there's a drainage outlet that goes in the creek right at the bridge at 11th, the 11th Street Bridge between Rose and Argentine. And when it's high water, there's a flapper valve there on the end of that pipe, and it's not as much drains into the creek during high water. So
that shot plug you were talking about, can we get that opened up?
Well, and we have a water main project that's about to start on Taos between 10th and 11th. And during that project, we're going to take a look and see if we can reroute that drainage. Maybe. I mean, it's just a maybe.
Yeah.
We can dig it up, but we don't want to kill all those trees along Worland Park that go along Taos there. Okay. Because the line was put too close to those trees.
Oh.
you dig it up, you're digging up all the roots of those trees, and you know, whether they survive or not, that's just kind of chance. So
you can't unplug it going in.
yeah, basically pick it up from that location and maybe move it out just a few feet next to the trench we're working for the water main to redo the water main.
Yeah.
And then run it down to 11th and make the connection again at 11th and Taos.
I see. Okay.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
We'll see if it comes to fruition. That's the water main's going to get done because the water main has had major breaks 3 times in between 10th and Park Street next to, Foster's Playground there.
Oh.
And City Park. And then it's also been broken a couple different times in the block from Park Street to 11th next to Whirling Park.
Oh. Well,
the guys are tired of digging up the road there. So.
Oh yeah. Well, it needs to be fixed,
Yep.
That part.
That's why we're doing it. Any other questions, concerns, Dwayne?
Oh, just listening in.
Yeah.
I think those guys kind of answered all the questions that I would have had.
Okay. Or Denise, do you have any questions or concerns?
So you mentioned a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. Is that correct? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
That was just off the top of my head saying that, the drainage is in the comprehensive plan. And as we're reviewing the comprehensive plan, it just reminded us it really needs to be a priority.
So should we address that at this meeting and send the recommendation over to the Board of Selectmen?
I think so, because budget, by the time you guys have your next meeting, I'll be going forward with the budget, but
okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't have a problem with that.
So could we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Would you like to make a motion
I
for
guess
that
I'll make a
recommendation?
motion.
I was waiting to
I know.
second.
I guess I'll make a motion to recommend
do
to
it.
the Board of Selectmen regarding the, what was that comprehensive study? I guess drainage study? Is that what it was called, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Comprehensive drainage study.
I'll second that.
Well, actually, we need since I think Kathleen's here, right? Or
I'm
did
here.
she? Everybody's here, Jason, so I think
Okay.
we need another regular member to second.
All right, I'll second it.
Now, Dwayne, go ahead and say all those in favor, say.
All
Yeah.
those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
And
Oh.
all those against say no.
can't say it.
Didn't hear any no's. I mean, it's just one way that, state your voice.
No, we have to start somewhere. So, and this
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
There really wasn't much said in here when I go back to the background about the school district or the fire station, fire authority, or EMS. One thing that regarding this update that might become more of an issue that really wasn't talked about in 2016 was the fire and EMS. They want to move from their station where it's at. Their station is over in 800 block of Argentine. It's not a great location for their station because of how many calls, where they go to those calls. And there's going to be some discussion in the near future regarding the fire station and what they would like to do. So.
Do they have a location in mind?
Well, possibly is they're talking with us as the town as far as the property that's north of the roundabout on Argentine that, that would give them
Easier.
north of the hotel, not the new hotel, the
Lodge.
whatever name it is this year.
Yeah.
A lodge.
The lodge, that's it. Thank you. North of that one. That way they would have a right turn and a right turn to get onto the freeway. A right turn from the station onto the street and a right turn onto the street through the roundabout to get to calls. So, and also better if they build something to have quarters for their personnel to stay at the station. So better. So
who paid for that?
it'd be the fire authority. It'd be
Okay,
their responsibility.
good enough.
But that's not part of this deal, but or it wasn't in 2016, but I really think going forward it really is something to keep in mind of what's occurring in town.
Good.
And they don't mention much regarding the school district. And then the spreadsheet in the back just mentions all the stuff that we had already just talked about. It's hard to read on the half page because you don't connect it across. If you have your comprehensive plan updates, you can see it on the one page, but I'm not hearing you, Jan, if you're talking.
On this one, I wrote it like right there so they could.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But Jason, the short time that you were with us as working for the town, did you notice anything of these things that come to mind for you, or anything that's not here that's kind of missing?
No, you went over the aspect of the French drain over there off Griffith, and that is what it is right now. As far as everything else, it sounded right. Whenever I came in, I kind of caught the butt end of where y'all were talking about on that. But yeah, it sounds right, and I like the way that we'll be going forward with the aspects of getting a someone to take a look and give us a aspect of a cost for what we need to do in regards to all the, making sure everything works right and is going as we plan.
Do we have this in a pile?
Do I
Sir?
have?
Oh.
Do we have that paper in a pile?
What paper, Ed?
The one that you got on the screen here.
Yes, that was included in your packet, and then it's also the the comprehensive plan update, the entire thing. I'll stop my share. But that thing, that should be, each one of you should have a copy of that.
Yes.
And if you don't, we can give you another one. That's not.
We can.
It's in the book that we have, the white, the planning commission book that was given to us, the 3-ring binder.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's under comprehensive section,
okay,
under that index. You'll see it there.
I'll look at it.
Yeah, and it's page 37 and 38, Ed.
Okay,
Mhm.
Do you have that, Kathleen?
I do.
Okay. Okay. And you, Ann, you do. You have it too, I suppose. Good.
oh, I got it, I got it.
Got
Yeah.
at least 2 copies.
As with each of these categories, there definitely needs to be some update. And I think we need to have these, and it comes down to these plan implementation,
Right,
the last 4 pages of it, and really work that spreadsheet again, and then have you guys approve that
Okay.
once we've gone through all the categories and have it updated, give you like you were suggesting earlier, Ed,
yeah.
an update.
If we get that way, we can zero in the things that need to be done,
Right. Right. Absolutely. The hardest thing is after we've gone through all this is going to be the prioritization
Yeah,
amongst all the different categories.
Mhm.
Because each time we do this, it seems like, man, we really should be working on that, or that should be the highest that should be a big priority. And when we get to the next month and that category, I'm saying the same thing. I mean, I'm saying it each month, man, that should be a priority.
yeah.
Problem is we don't have the resources or the staff to get through all those priorities. But we have gotten through an awful lot. I'm actually kind of surprised. This supposedly done in 2016, and in 4.5, coming up on 5 years, there's quite a few things that have been done.
Yeah.
That
Well-
was identified by you guys and others as part of this plan. So. Any questions, concerns, comments, complaints about this overall?
When will you get it done?
Tomorrow, Ed. I'll try to get it done tomorrow.
Good.
No, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's agenda day for Board of Selectmen. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, Dwayne, that's about all I have for this deal. And I'll make sure you guys have the materials for preparation when that subdivision application comes in. It'll just be a conceptual subdivision. And I have 2 other people that are starting a process of eliminating lot lines, which is also a process that would come to you.
Right.
So, where they make 2 lots into 1.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a huge deal, but
Okay.
that also, I think that also comes to you as well.
Yeah, on the 2 lots into 1, is that something too where they have to meet the 5,000 square foot minimum? Or it's going from 2 lots into 1, sorry, so that wouldn't be a big deal.
No.
So it's a little bit tougher the other way when they're trying to take 1 lot into 2.
You just got to put that pizza cutter in the right place. So
exactly, yeah. Which, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go, Dwayne.
All right, well, I guess we just have to motion to approve the July 15, 2020 meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I guess we adjourn the meeting.
I move that we adjourn.
Yeah.
If you want, we can sit around and talk for a while if you want.
I don't know if I want to. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell who moved and seconded. I'm sorry, you guys.
It's okay.
Jen, this is Ann. I move to adjourn.
And
Okay,
and this is D, I second. Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, thanks, you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
Good night.
All right, good evening.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Stay well.
Bye.
Bye.
Aye. Oop.